One of the last things I had left to do was to connect the clutch system, and to bleed it I used a combination of pumping the clutch pedal and a motive power bleeder. So this is where the hose connect the master cylinder to the brake reservoir, and I just cut the end off this here after draining the brake reservoir below that line. So to start the bleeding process, I actually just started pumping the clutch pedal by hand, and after that started getting stiff, I then connected the motive power bleeder to the top of the brake fluid reservoir and pumped it up to 10 psi, then went down to the bottom to open up the valve on the slave cylinder. And after it started to get a good flow of fluid with no more air bubbles, closed it off and was actually already getting a fairly stiff puddle feel, and decided to give the car a test drive. So I'm still getting a check engine light for a knock sensor, but the car starts right up. The clutch pedal has a good feel, I was able to shift into first and reverse without any issue, and I drove the car about 3 feet with no problem. So after about 2 months of work, I was finally ready for its first test drive. There was just one other small problem. It's now December in Wisconsin, and the car's not going anywhere. Even worse than a BMW breaking down is your snowblower breaking when you have a foot of snow on the ground and only got half your driveway done. So that's it. The swap's complete. It's running. It's driving. I still have the center console off as it's still the middle of winter. I'm going to be refreshing that. And again, since it's 30 degrees in my garage, it's time for some other projects. But first, just want to go over the total cost of the project. I ended up spending $1,100 on the vast majority of the parts, the transmission, the cross members. I spent $726 on the Vallejo clutch kits. That was the flywheel, the clutch, the pressure plate. I did upgrade to this short shifter as well, and then another $150 on all the small stuff. So just missing bushings, connectors. This is again where I think you could end up spending a whole lot of money. This is a detailed breakdown of everything I spent. For my next project, I actually wanted to get a weight for the stock wheels versus my aftermarket ones to keep a weight on unspun mass. This is the front rim and tire at 46.6 pounds. The rear one is a bit heavier at 48.6. My aftermarket Apex Arc 8 was at 43 pounds for the front and 43.8 for the rears. So I decided to treat myself to an early Christmas gift. This came from Redline Auto Parts, which took me an embarrassingly long amount of time to unpackage, but I didn't want to scrape the paint on this. The calipers from an i35i, I'm going to actually be putting on the front and the rear. I was initially planning on painting these, but it actually looks so good, I think I'm just going to leave them gray for now. And that thought lasted for about 5 minutes until I saw this online and figured I need to paint them red and wrap my car. But that'll be a problem for another time. It's not freezing cold outside. In the meantime, let me know if you have any questions about the swap in the comments, if I should paint the calipers, and subscribe to follow along.